There is a proportion of the world, of the people of the world, and I don't know what that number might be, who understand the problems or want to understand. Actually, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and somebody talking about being, it's like being awake to these issues, and I don't mean woke, but I mean in the time that it takes from the time you realize, and I'm sure you guys have been on a similar kind of pathway, where you start to, you get a glimmer of something happening, and then it's like that's when your eyes are first starting to open up, and then it takes time. You sort of go down all these, rabbit holes and things that take you in the wrong direction, but eventually you start to see how it all connects up. And then you start, and I feel like I've been awake for 24 hours, because if I look back to what I was saying 5 years ago, even, I was kind of not seeing the whole picture, and I don't see the whole picture now, but the further along you get it and you realize, so from a global perspective, when it comes to animal agriculture, it is the biggest, environmental issue that we face, whether it's greenhouse gas emissions or, pollution, all the way through. And that huge role that animals and nitrogen fertilizer play in the harm, but also that they are what got our population to this extreme level it is, our global population. So, I mean, if you look at the sums that have been done on just taking away nitrogen fertilizer, you would feed way less than half the population of the world at the moment. I mean, that's under our current system, where we waste half the food, and a huge amount of the food goes to feed animals instead of us, and all that kind of thing. So the reality of carbon neutral, which is what we have to do if we want to survive, is that we're going to have to eat. I mean, I totally understand and agree with all of the reasons that people have for being vegans and not wanting to have animals involved in food and all that kind of thing. But even if you put all of that aside, from a purely practical energy transfer, which is what it's about the energy that we need to stay alive, plus some other, obviously some macronutrients and other things in there. If you're going to feed anywhere like the population that we have, or what we propose to have, you just can't have animals in it. It just does not compute. The amount of energy coming in and the amount of energy required by that many people just to keep their systems running, you just can't have them. So people can make out like it's a choice, but it isn't a choice. And the sooner that we, when we're, of course, like everything else, we're not even beginning to reduce that. There's a lot more awareness around the impacts of animal agriculture, but there's no reduction in the amount of animal food that's going into diets globally. So we have to. It's a reality of it's a them or us situation, and so it's going to have to be a big change that's going to happen.